Hello and good morning, everyone. Hi, Joe. Hi, Aisha. Hello, everyone in the inside of the YouTube channel. We have a very special Freedom Queen Live today because we have Jo Miller coming. I'm going to be interviewing her, asking her questions about being in the mastermind, being in the headquarters, but also about what Jo does, because what Jo does is really amazing. And she specifically works with business owners. So I'm just so excited. I had some Wi-Fi issues this morning, so I moved downstairs. So hopefully this will work. If for some reason the Wi-Fi cuts out, just put it in the chat and let me know so I can fix it for us. We have Siobhan says, I signed up for the Zoom link for today. Amazing. You can send Mo a message over on Facebook. She'll get that to you. Pearl's in the house, Chantel, Melissa, Spiritual Mind, Aisha's in the Zoom room, Lindsay's here, Chris is here. Let me check the Zoom chat. Hello from New Zealand. Joe's in the house. If you're in the Zoom room, put it in the chat. I would love to know how you're doing. I know there's just a few of us here, but I'm very excited to have Jo on this morning. Amazing, she says. So before we bring on Jo Miller and we hear everything that she has to share with us, there are so many amazing things happening inside of Freedom Queen, inside of this movement. I'm sure many of you saw my Instagram story last week where I was sitting at my desk. I got all of the video submissions from you all, and I was just sobbing. Put a yes in the chat if you submitted a video. If you haven't submitted your video, you still can, because I haven't actually made the video yet. If you haven't submitted the video, feel free, but put a yes in the chat if you did submit a video. I literally was at my desk, like I had my dress on and my glasses on, just sobbing because something really hit me. What we're creating inside of the Freedom Queen movement is so much bigger than just grow a business, sign on clients. Yes, you're going to do all of those things, but this is so much more massive. And on a very vulnerable note, a couple years ago, when I first started my business, I saw everyone else building their businesses and really just selling coaching. And I was like, I deeply crave something more than that. I don't want just coaching. And there's no right or wrong, but this is from me. I don't want just coaching. I want big international movement. So I decided from the beginning, I'm going to treat this like a movement. I'm going to build something bigger where people can be mentored. I see people saying louder in the YouTube channel, you know, something bigger than just coaching. And I felt like this was the first time, you guys, even after all the things I've done, I felt like this was the first time that I really saw it. When I saw your video come into my inbox of you at home with the white shirt or the Freedom Queen shirt or the Freedom Queen robe, putting your crown on, I was like, this is incredible. So I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for Freedom Queen Live every Monday at 7 p.m. Make sure that you're here, tuned in, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or coming to the Zoom room with us. Aisha, thank you. I'm so grateful for you. And what else is happening? We have our Move and Manifest certification program happening at the end of this month. If you're in the headquarters, it's included inside of that. So yay. If you're in the headquarters, it's included in there. If you're in our masterminds, it's included. And then you can also buy it on its own. So you can buy it on its own if you just want to do the Move and Manifest 4-day certification. It's like the best embodiment program that you will ever see on the internet. I know a lot of people throw around the word embodiment, and this program is like the truest way to step into this next level in business, using repatterning choreography, using integrating it on a cellular level. So I'm very excited about this program. It's a crazy price point. So if you want to get in, it's 4 days. Each training will be about 2 hours long. The last day you get certified in the methodology to use with your own clients to increase clients' actions and also result in transformation. So yay. Siobhan said if you bought the headquarters, that's not the Zoom link for today. The headquarters is something different. You have to buy the VIP Zoom link for today in order to be in the Zoom room. Okay, with that being said, I put on my notes here. I'm going to drop the link for the Move and Manifest 4-day program, the certification program. If you want to join that, there's a link. If you want to join the headquarters, you know where that is inside of our Facebook group under the guide section. We are enrolling for March, and I think we're going to increase the price to $997 a month. So I'm very, very excited about that. Okay. Let's get Jo on here. I'm so excited to interview her. Let me pin her video. Jo is looking freaking gorgeous. Okay, there we go. I think she's pinned. Yay, yay, yay. Okay. So put a yes in the chat if you know Jo before I have her go on and introduce herself. Put a yes in the chat if you know Jo. And I'm just so excited. Jo and I met on the internet, right? We just met on the internet. And you DM'd me when I was in Portugal. And I was doing this like leg workout machine. And I knew from the minute that Jo DM'd me, I was like, this woman is it. Like, you know, when someone just DMs you and you're like, who is this woman? Like, it's just an instant connection. So when you DM'd me, Jo, I was like, okay, this is amazing. It was like a connection right from the beginning. And I'm just so excited to have you here. Okay, I'll stop talking. Who are you? What do you do? And then we'll have a riff back and forth.
Oh, thanks, Bridge. Yeah, I remember that too. I remember reaching out to you and being like, this is going to be really good. You know, like we have something here. It'll be really fun. I'm so glad that I followed through. It's been so good. So I am a coach for women. I basically help women make their lives delicious to them. I am all about feminine embodiment and you really embodying the goddess archetype, whatever that looks like to you. So we do a lot of like inner child healing and all of like the really deep down inner work that you need to do in order to clear the shit so that you can actually just start being the badass business owner who also gets to be like deeply in her feminine. So yeah, that's like a short synopsis of what I do.
You know, I love what you do. I love what you do. Oh, let me stop the share so I can see a big screen here. Because there we go. You know, everyone looks for a strategy. Everyone looks for a quick fix. Everyone wants the thing that's going to make them the money and do what, like, it's like this very anxious energy. And I love what you do because people need this. Like, actually, they need this first before any sort of strategy implementation. And so it's like they try and skip the feminine energy. They try and skip the inner work, the embodiment, and go right to how do I make money? But it's like, whoa, if they feel this energy from you, you're not gonna make money and sign on clients and have the big business that you want, or in the long term, it's gonna be really hard to sustain that.
Yeah, I feel like people that are really committed to doing the inner work, really committed to like being so deeply obsessed with who they are, those are the women that last the longest in business. Like they create a truly sustainable business because they actually give a fuck about how they feel. And like all of the pieces of their life start to really align with that within them, right? Yeah. So I like work often with like women who come to me after like they've had their business for a while and then they're like, oh, like something's missing or like there's a missing thing here or I'm just not as happy as I thought I was. Right. But after we do work, they're always like, yeah, I wish I had done this first. It's like, we always like do the inner work when we're in that crisis state of like, well, there's nothing else to do. So I guess I have to do the inner work now. It's like, we can also do it before we get to that breaking point. It's really good.
I see Aisha laughing with us on the camera. I love being in the Zoom room because I get to see your faces. But inside of the YouTube channel, they're saying, yes, Jo, I love that. Jo is amazing. I love her. Pearl says. So before we go into the work, and we'll have time for Q&A from those of you in the audience, what was it? I'm curious. What was it like when you first joined, let's say the Fuck It Up Mastermind in the headquarters to where your business is at today? Like, walk us through some of the transformations that you've had, because I've really seen you step into your power over the last like 3, 4, 5 months.
Thanks. Yeah. So when I signed up for Fuck It Up, I had been deeply in rest mode and like balancing my nervous system, just in like really like healing myself. So then I just felt like this energy, right? Still around business, still like, but I was like, I need to create something. And I had so many of the pieces that I wanted to use now through all of this crazy life stuff that had happened. And I was craving more of like the masculine structure. Like, give me like the bullet points, give me the strategy. Like, I appreciate having that in my life because it's easy for me to do the feminine stuff, but I like having some masculine structure in there to actually like see the goal through. So yeah, when I came into the mastermind, that's like what I was really craving. And I feel like strategy was great. Yes. Also just having access to you. Like so often we have these questions stuck in our heads of like, should I do this or this? And like having access to someone that you trust and is an expert to be like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What should I do? And have that resolved in less than 24 hours. It's huge. You don't get stuck, right? You don't get like stuck in a spiral. You're just like, you move so much
Yeah.
faster. And then also just having like the space that you create within your groups to, like, I experience having the space to do some coaching myself in the group. Like my first one-on-one clients that I got were from the mastermind. So I feel like you create such a cool space where everyone kind of has an opportunity to showcase their own goods because we all can learn from each other. So I really, really, really love that. And I mean, yeah, like before I worked with you, I had made $0. And then like after I worked with you, I have 11 girls in my membership now and 2 high ticket one-on-one clients. And I'm launching a group program now. So it's just like the momentum of like, I actually have the pieces that I need now. Right. Like, and so the
Yeah.
trajectory is just like, it can only go up.
And, I know you saw in the headquarters that this was your month of getting visible. And then like, I think this had already happened. Like we had already scheduled this. And then you said that and I was like, this is so perfect. Like everyone go check out Jo. Jo, what is your Instagram handle? I'll put it inside of the YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's Goddess Femme CEO. So Goddess, and then Femme is FEMME, and then CEO.
Okay. I
Yeah.
just put it in there. Go check out Jo. She is amazing. And, especially for business owners where you can be in such that masculine energy and you need that feminine energy, like what you're talking about, because if you don't have that, it's going to be so hard in the long game. That's why I always say making money is a self-love game. I'm over here like wildly, weirdly obsessed with myself. And I think that's my strategy. Like, I'm just going to find a way.
Yeah. At the end of the day, that's like what it comes down to. I love when you post about that because it's so true. It's like, how much do you love yourself? Because that's when you show up, when you really, really are connected to your own vision and like who you are supposed to be in this world. That's like next level.
Well, let's dive into this. So if you have questions in the chat, put them in the chat. I see people coming into the Zoom room here. Aisha's in the Zoom room or the YouTube channel. Put your questions in and I'll share them with Jo. But let's start off with someone who they have their business running. They're signing on clients, but they're lacking fulfillment. Like it feels like they're missing something, like what you talked about earlier. What are the first steps to like uncovering that? Walk us through what that looks like working with you or how someone can do that on their own.
Yeah. So usually we would take like an inventory of some sort in the beginning just to kind of see like, I feel like that's another piece of like, I'm really good at blending the masculine and the feminine, taking an inventory and actually numbering like 1 to 10, how satisfied am I in the category of love and relationships, of home life, of like my body working out, that sort of thing, just so that we can actually see where you're at. And then we can also see like how we progress. And then usually we start with some sort of trauma work. We all have trauma. Being born is trauma, like big T, little t, it doesn't matter. It's just anything that you experience that was a hard time. And within that trauma, you decided certain things about yourself. You decided certain things about life, people, what it means to be a business owner, whatever. So like what we uncover through the trauma work is things like, I'm terrified of being seen. And that shows up in your business as not being visible, as like not using your voice in the way that you want to, those sorts of things. Or I really want to be vulnerable with my partner, but I'm so scared of it, right? And that usually, that goes somewhere back in your past where you weren't allowed to feel safe expressing yourself fully as a woman, as a girl, whatever. So we usually always start with some sort of trauma work, and that involves inner child work too. Like, what's the little version of you inside that's terrified? It always comes back to things in childhood, like where were you not met? Because your sacred responsibility now is to be that for yourself. Like the little version of you that's triggered is just the version of you that feels really unsafe. So you get to start to really build that relationship with your inner child. And so like once we've actually cleared some stuff out, we have this beautiful space within us. And that's where pleasure comes in. So it's like we clear out the shit with the trauma work and the inner child and all the limiting belief stuff. And then we fill it back in with pleasure and sensuality and getting really in touch with your body in like a really deep intuitive way. Because once you get more in touch with your body, your intuition becomes so sharp. And that is like a woman's superpower. She is so magnetic. When you can hear
Yeah.
your intuition and make decisions like that instead of purely on logic, that's when you start like defying the odds. That's when you start like illogical success. It doesn't make sense. Like that
Weird
sort
stuff starts, weird things happen where you're like, I just like the real concrete example I can give is I will think of someone, Joe, like
of.
someone in the internet space, I will think of them and then my gut will go, they're gonna buy from you. And then
Yeah.
I'm not kidding, like a day later, they're like, Bridge, I've been wanting to work with you privately or whatever it is. And I'm like,
It's crazy. The
what?
other day I was like, I think somebody's just going to sign up for my group program today. Like, I don't know why. I just feel like it's going to happen. And literally by that night, someone had signed up for my group program. I was like, it gets to be that easy. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you show up, like you're super devoted to what you do. You feel so good in your body, which makes it feel so sustainable because it's fun and it's pleasurable. And then shit just starts to like pop off because you're magnetic to like your desires.
With that, I want to dive deeper into that. So, because I get that. And like I understand that. And I think that's how I've operated forever. It's just like trusting that. And I think having the background in body work, kinesiology and dance and all of these things, like I've always been in the body and manifestation. But for someone who is really looking at, well, you said you just thought of someone and they joined your group program and they're so detached from that, like how do they start to reconnect to that? I know you were talking about doing embodiment work and
Yeah.
like where does that begin for them?
So usually there, it's like what their inner child is actually craving there is connection. And you're like craving connection with source, God, universe, what goddess, whatever you want to call it. You're craving that support from the great masculine, from the divine he that is in the world. Usually within that, it's like what you're craving is connection. How you get there is surrender. So if you're a business owner, I would probably get you to look at your list of 5 million things that you're supposed to do. And I would help you prioritize those and then take a bunch of them off of your list.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just go, 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 go all the time. But what we're actually doing is we're like, I got this, I got this, I got this. And when we do that, we're not trusting. There is like asking, setting the goal, but then for the feminine, where it really comes in is, can you then release?
Yeah.
Ask and release, ask and surrender. Like that is where like the juice really starts to come in. Like how much can you lean back and trust? Because then you also don't feel so isolated in your business anymore. That's entrepreneurs talk about feeling isolated all the time. But if
I know.
you've got this like crazy awesome romance going on with the universe where you're just like in it together and you feel supported and it's juicy, like that is a different energy to live your life from and to build a business from.
Yeah. You're putting words to so many things that I struggle to talk about with. And one of them is like, I call it like the sphere inside of me. And it's like the God magic. I'm always connected to God. It's like this, like I can only describe it by going like that. But that's what's within me. And that's like when people say, like, why are you doing this? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I just have to do it.
Yeah.
It's within me. It's not even like in vocabulary. It's just like, this is who I was birthed on this planet to be. And I think, I always talk about building movements and not just selling coaching. And that's what you're doing with this business. It's incredible.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's also so much more fulfilling. Like these businesses are our purposes. It's what we're here to do. It feels like I was birthed for this reason to be here with you right now talking about this. So I love the way you described that.
Thanks.
Are there any questions coming up in the chat? We have some time here with Joe. Questions coming up in the chat. Anything that you want to ask her? I see Aisha says, yeah, otherwise we're in that anxious vibe 24/7 without the surrender part. So
Yeah.
relatable. Well, while we wait for questions to come in, I love what you said about the list of 5 million things, because about a month ago, someone asked me, they came to ask me one question, and somehow in the same sentence, they said, I have like 50 things to do every day. And I was like, why? Because I
Why?
have like two and doing well. What is going on here? So why do you think people feel like they have to stack on the 50 million things or just a long to-do list?
It's because you honestly don't feel safe in your nervous system that you can not have to be doing all the things all the time. It's like, do you actually believe in your body? Does it feel safe to you to not have a list of 100 things? Do you believe that you can still receive a lot and not have 100 things on your list? Because if your nervous system doesn't feel safe, it will not let something in. So a lot of that would be like, what is like the capacity of your nervous system here? If you're so used to this mode of going, which I believe like stuck in the masculine mode is really just like stuck in survival mode. That's what it is. We've learned how to survive in some capacity. And usually that means having to like produce a lot, probably because you were praised as a kid for what you did, not who you were, and just like feeling like you constantly have to be going and producing and like, performing in some capacity. Yeah. And that has to do with your nervous system. Just somewhere along the line, you picked up like, this is what I need to do in order to either be loved or be safe. Yeah. So
That
usually it
is,
comes back to nervous system. It's like you've just learned.
yeah.
Yeah. Which is something that you can change too.
Yeah, I feel that when a client, and I'm sure that you notice this with your own clients, they'll come and they're like, I'm doing all of the things and it's not working, or I'm showing up every day, I'm posting every day, but I'm not seeing XYZ result come in, or whatever that looks like. And it's usually this, the surrendering, what you're talking about, the allowing it to even come in. Jamie says, oh my God, yes, that's me. Only no going.
Yeah.
So I just put, Pearl had a question if you want to start answering Pearl, and then I just put another one in from.
Okay, so Pearl says best daily practice to tune into feminine energy and listen to intuition more. Ooh, yeah. This will change your life if you do this. Just 5 minutes every day. You can be as clothed or unclothed as you want to be, it doesn't matter. Intuition lies in your body. So if you're having trouble accessing your intuition, you're probably very disconnected from your body because it's speaking to you all the time. So for 5 minutes, I just want you to like put headphones on, put whatever kind of vibe of music you want on, and literally just touch your body. No expectations, no anything. You don't have to do anything besides just touch your body, starting at your fingers, working up your arms, and wherever it feels good, you just linger. What you're doing is you're listening to your body. You're getting very attuned to the sensations that it's giving you. And when it says, ooh, yes, I like that, you're listening and you're responding. So you're building trust within your body in like a super simple and pleasurable way. So if you literally just spent 5 minutes every morning just connecting to your body in a slow way where you're really listening in, you will be way more attuned to your intuition throughout the day. That's like one of my favorites. So easy.
I'm going to start doing that. I just said yesterday I wanted to start doing a daily dance party in the middle of the day because I used to do that all the time. I need something like that.
Okay, Siobhan says, how do we allow? Oh, that is such a good question. Oh my God, do we have an hour? Oh man. How do we allow? Yeah, because that's all about like, how much can you lean back? How much can you actually trust? Siobhan, I would look at where in your life do you feel like you're gripping really tightly? Like what area of your life do you feel like absolutely terrified to let anyone else do anything? Could be your business, it could be your relationship, could be your home life, literally anything. I want you to look at like, where are you gripping on so tightly? And then I want you to just start asking yourself questions. Why am I holding on so tightly? What's underneath of that? Because if you're struggling to allow, that's really just a fear. You're just protecting yourself. And you just learned that somewhere along the way. That's that inner kid within you that needs to feel safe to allow, that needs to feel safe to let go. So where in your life are you gripping tightly? And then can you start bringing love and compassion to that area in yourself that's having a hard time? That's where I would encourage you to start, and journal on that too. It will be interesting what comes up for you with that. That's a great question. Okay, what else we got, Bridge?
I think we have one more question, and it was from Mo with Team Freedom Queen. Mo says, Joe, how can one start practicing surrendering while balancing your feminine and masculine of running your biz, relationships, and life?
Yeah. This is good. One of my favorite practical things that you can do is start taking intuitive walks. What that looks like is set a timer, 10, 20 minutes, whatever you want. And literally all you're doing is surrendering to the universe. And what that means is you are only doing what your intuition tells you to. That could literally be like, sometimes I do this and it's like, I walk 5 steps forward and then for some reason I'm supposed to walk 5 steps back. It also helps you increase your silliness and your play, not taking everything so goddamn seriously. Like the universe wants to play with you. That like playfulness for the feminine too is so magnetic and it's part of your radiance. So I feel like surrendering in like small, safe ways like that really helps you to actually build that muscle of intuition, surrender, like listening to the universe, those sorts of things. So intuitive walks are like a really fun, easy way to start doing that. And then every morning in my journaling, in like my embodiment practices of like touching my body and connecting with myself, I just like ask the universe, like, how do you want me today? Like pretend like the universe is this sexy lover that just wants to ravish you. Like, how do you want me today? Because when you start to like feel that juice, it makes you want to surrender more. Because it feels more erotic, it feels more playful, less like, oh, fuck, fine, like universe, I guess this is what you want from me. And it's more like, oh, like, how can I surrender?
Yeah.
And happening to you, they're happening for you. Like it brings a different element of that like juicy sexual energy that we have within us. I'm like getting turned on as I'm talking about this.
Yeah. You're reminding me of when shit hits the fan in my business. And I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
like the story I'll have, like what's really happening here? What doors, how am I shifting? And it's like in the beginning, it wasn't like that. My nervous system was like, oh my God, this is so bad. And now I'm like side eye. Oh, okay. I see something new is opening up here. So that level of work takes practice. And I love that you're doing this because so many women need it. And when they tap into this, it's like, good Lord, strategy is so important, but also you know the strategy because you know you and you're just going to do it anyways. So with that being said, how can my audience, whether you're live right now or you're watching the replay, we'll put your links in the show notes. How can they get involved with the work that you do and just anything that you have going on right now or something that's evergreen and in the future when they're watching this, they can buy?
So they can always join the membership. The membership is amazing. We have a live call at the beginning of every month that is full of embodiment and practice. It's like your feminine energy refresh at the beginning of the month. And then you can go and do your business throughout the month. Just like reminds you to come back into that juicy feminine. And I'm launching right now, which I'm so excited about, is my group program, which I'm just like, I can't wait. I'm so excited. It's called Eros, and it really is just about like full on embodiment. This is your like rebirth season, 3 months of like diving deep into your feminine energy, like really clearing out anything that's in your way and like coming out on the other side, just this fully embodied goddess leader CEO. I'm so excited about it. It's going to be insane.
When does that one start?
That one starts in March.
Okay. Perfect timing. I think a lot of people are going to be joining programs in March.
Yeah. It's such like a good like spring refresh. Like, let's fucking go. What are we doing? Like, yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Cool. Well, I will put the link in the show notes for your Instagram handle, for your membership, and then send me the link for your group coaching program too. If you're in the Zoom room or on our YouTube channel watching right now, make sure you click the link. And then you can always just go to Joe's Instagram and send her a message or connect with her there if there's something specialized that you want outside of group coaching or her membership. But thank you for being a part of this, Joe. Like, this was such an amazing way to wake up in the morning and get to talk with you about this. I'm definitely going to be adding in some of those embodiment practices because I know that this is the work.
Yeah, I love it, Bridge. Thank you. I love being in your world.
Of course. Of course. Okay. I'm going to wrap us up here. I saw there was one question in the Zoom room. Grace says, hi, Bridget. I found your TikTok page yesterday. Oh my God, yesterday. Hi, Grace. It's nice to see your face here. Finds yesterday, joins the membership today. I love it. Okay, I want to answer your question here. I just started posting on TikTok and I'm struggling with balancing that schedule with my job. I feel like my business is my future and I would love to have more confidence that this will work out before I quit my job. So I'm curious to understand, when do you think a good time to quit my job? Well, I think it depends for everyone. And I would definitely connect with Joe after this live too, about doing some work on regulating your nervous system. And I say that because the more confident you are and the more grounded you are in yourself, you can quit at any time because you have you. That's why I say message Joe after this, because this work is really important. When I quit my job, I was so confident in myself. I was like, I could be $0 in the bank account and I will find a way to bring on money. I will find a way to sign on clients. But for other people, they need to have income rolling in. They need to have their finances cleared up before they're able to quit. They need more of a financial safety net. But most people don't even know what their threshold is. They don't even know if they are the confident person, I should just quit, until they do it. And then they're like, I'm so terrified, I'm so scared. So Grace, I want you to connect with Joe after this and take a look at your own nervous system. If you quit today and you had no money coming in, would you find a way and feel confident in that? Or would that throw your nervous system, wacky and make it all messed up? And then suddenly you're scrounging and you're looking for a new job. So it's different for everyone.
Thank you for that. Really appreciate it.
Of course. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad. Okay. I'm so excited. Welcome, Siobhan. I'm glad you came into the Zoom room here. Joe, thank you for going live with me today on Freedom Queen Live. We will send out the replay, and everyone else, I will see you next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern.